Welcome to FlyEaglesFly News, where Eagles fans get the latest, fastest, and hottest updates. Hit subscribe and fly high with us. Word is spreading fast across the NFL landscape, and this one is shaking the foundations of Philadelphia. Sources close to the league office are whispering about an open investigation that could involve the Eagles in something far bigger than a standard disciplinary review. The timing is wild, right in the middle of a season where Philly was starting to find its rhythm again. Now, suddenly, reports suggest the league has stepped in after what's being called a procedural irregularity. No one's saying exactly what that means yet, but the tone inside NFL circles is that this isn't some small administrative mix-up. Some insiders claim the situation might involve a potential breach of competitive conduct, perhaps related to how certain information was shared internally. And here's the thing. When the league opens an investigation like this, it's not just for show. It means something credible has crossed the commissioner's desk. People inside the Eagles facility are reportedly tense, coaches keeping meetings tight, players avoiding interviews. The front office? Silent. Completely silent. You can feel the energy shift, and fans online are buzzing nonstop, trying to connect dots that haven't even been confirmed yet. Something's definitely brewing, and it's not just smoke. There's heat underneath this one. What makes this even crazier is how quickly the NFL seems to be moving. Usually, when these types of investigations begin, the league drags its feet. They gather statements, review footage, talk to legal teams, all before anything leaks. But this time, the buzz is that the league's compliance division already conducted initial interviews earlier this week, and that's before the story even went public. That tells you everything you need to know about the urgency. Fans are wondering whether this could tie back to recent sideline communications issues, with rumors swirling about intercepted signals, improper use of technology, or even insider info passing between staff members. None of that's been proven, but the conversation is already there. And when social media catches fire, it rarely cools off quickly. What's striking is that league officials are refusing to deny the investigation outright. They're choosing their words carefully. Phrases like, "We're reviewing internal matters," and "ensuring the integrity of the game," have been thrown around. That's corporate talk for, "We found something worth digging into." If the Eagles thought their biggest challenge this season was just staying healthy, they've got a brand new problem on their hands, and it's not happening on the field. Inside Philadelphia, reporters are saying team officials have gone into full lockdown mode. Press access has been restricted, and players have been instructed not to comment on anything unrelated to football. That's always the first sign that something real is happening behind the scenes. The strange part? Some of the details apparently trace back several weeks, possibly even to that controversial win where people questioned play-calling sequences that seemed oddly predictable to opponents. Could this be about competitive data? Or maybe a league rule that was skirted without anyone realizing until later? Either way, the NFL's compliance department doesn't just wake up one morning and start digging unless someone tipped them off. And word on the street is that at least one rival franchise may have filed a formal complaint after noticing irregularities in game day communication channels. That's the rumor swirling through front offices right now. Philly fans are furious, rival fans are celebrating, and everyone else is just waiting for someone in authority to say something concrete. But until that happens, speculation is the name of the game, and business is booming for anyone covering the story. Now, here's where it gets wild, because apparently, this isn't just about one game or one incident. Multiple sources have hinted that the NFL's investigators are expanding their scope, looking into patterns of behavior stretching back to preseason activities. That means everything. Scouting communications, internal analytics systems, even the way player reports are shared across departments. This level of scrutiny suggests the league suspects a systemic issue, not just a random oversight. And for the Eagles, that's terrifying, because systemic problems usually come with organizational penalties, not individual ones. Think fines, lost draft picks, or worse, suspensions. Remember the precedent: the Patriots and Spygate, the Saints and Bountygate. Whenever the league feels its credibility is on the line, it comes down hard. Philly's leadership is surely aware of that history, which is probably why they've brought in extra legal counsel and compliance experts. Sources close to the front office say even veteran players are uneasy, trying to figure out if something they didn't know about might now blow up the whole operation. It's messy, and the silence from team execs is only making it louder. Behind closed doors, there's said to be a mix of confusion and defiance. Some people within the organization reportedly feel blindsided, claiming they have no idea what triggered the investigation in the first place. Others, though, are hinting that this was a long time coming, that certain internal practices were always a bit gray area. One insider was quoted saying, "We all knew it would catch up eventually." That's the kind of statement that makes fans nervous and rival teams smile. The Eagles' reputation as a well-run franchise could take a massive hit if any of this turns out to be true. And if penalties do come down, it could change the balance of power in the NFC overnight. Imagine losing staff, draft assets, or cap flexibility right as you're chasing another deep playoff run. It's the nightmare scenario no contender wants. The league, for its part, seems eager to send a message that no team, no matter how successful or popular, is beyond accountability. The question is, accountability for what exactly? Until someone leaks the full report, we're all just trying to read between the lines. And of course, the public reaction is pure chaos. Sports talk shows are having a field day. Fans are arguing nonstop on social media, and every ex-player with a podcast is claiming to have inside knowledge. That's how fast these things spiral in today's media environment. Everyone's chasing the same sliver of truth, hoping to be the first to connect it all. Meanwhile, in Philly, the atmosphere is heavy. Reporters are camped outside the team facility, waiting for someone to slip up and say something they shouldn't. Even the players seem on edge, giving short, nervous interviews after practice. This isn't just another controversy. It's a full-blown storm cloud hanging over one of the NFL's top franchises. What makes it worse is the uncertainty. Fans don't know whether to defend the team or brace for impact. Rivals are sensing blood, and the media is circling. The NFL has officially stepped in, which means the story's only getting bigger from here. One thing's certain, this isn't going away quietly. The season just got a lot more complicated for Philadelphia. The second wave of this unfolding saga hit late last night, when a few high-profile insiders started dropping cryptic posts hinting that the league already has substantial evidence tied to the Eagles' internal operations. That phrase, substantial evidence, has been enough to set off alarm bells across the entire fan base. Some say it points to a data breach inside the analytics department, while others insist it's more about unauthorized scouting practices. Whatever it is, the fact that the league hasn't denied those rumors makes it feel like something concrete is sitting in someone's inbox at NFL headquarters. The question everyone's asking now is, how far up the ladder does this go? If it's an isolated incident, maybe a slap on the wrist. But if executives are involved, or if the league determines the team gained a competitive advantage, then all bets are off. This kind of situation can change a franchise overnight. And the timing couldn't be worse, with the Eagles right in the playoff picture. You can already feel the ripple effect. Broadcasters are cautious, sponsors are nervous, and the league's image management machine is spinning into overdrive, trying to control the narrative before it explodes. Inside sources claim that the Eagles' ownership group has already been in touch with the commissioner's office, trying to clarify misunderstandings. But when billion-dollar organizations start using phrases like that, it usually means lawyers are involved and damage control has begun. What's interesting is that the league has reportedly hired an external compliance firm to handle parts of the audit. That's not standard practice. That's the kind of move you see when the NFL wants independence and transparency, usually in high-stakes situations. Some fans are pointing out that this could all trace back to a disgruntled former employee who recently left the organization under unusual circumstances. Could this be a whistleblower situation? It would make sense. That's how these leaks often start. But until the league confirms the source, it's all speculation. Meanwhile, Philly's coaches are trying to keep the locker room together, insisting the players focus on football. That's easier said than done when the entire sports world is dissecting every headline. The phrase, "where there's smoke, there's fire," keeps coming up, and right now, the smoke around Philadelphia is thick. What adds another layer of intrigue is how divided the football community seems to be over the whole situation. Some analysts are calling this a witch hunt, suggesting the league is overreacting to minor procedural errors. Others believe it's a long overdue reckoning, that the NFL has ignored too many gray areas for too long. Either way, the tension is real. And what's fascinating is how this has turned into a battle of perception as much as facts. The Eagles fan base is fiercely loyal, and they're pushing back hard against any narrative that paints the team as cheaters. Meanwhile, rival fan bases are relentless, flooding timelines with memes and references to past scandals. The whole thing feels like a modern-day sports soap opera, full of suspense, leaks, and denials. Behind all the noise, though, one thing stands out. The league wouldn't risk this kind of public drama unless something significant warranted it. That's what has people nervous. Maybe the Eagles did nothing wrong, or maybe the NFL just uncovered something they can't ignore anymore. Either way, the fallout will be massive, both on and off the field. FlyEaglesFly News family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments, and let's talk birds. In the midst of all this chaos, players are caught in an impossible position. They're being told to stay focused, to control what they can control, but when every reporter in the country is asking about the investigation, that's easier said than done. Some veterans have tried to step up as leaders, reminding everyone that no matter what happens, the locker room has to stay united. But even unity can't silence doubt. There's always that quiet anxiety, that what-if question that lingers in everyone's mind. If the investigation confirms violations, it could mean suspensions or even vacated wins. Imagine the emotional whiplash of grinding through a season, only to have it tainted by something you might not even have known about. That's the mental toll this kind of rumor brings. Coaches are keeping team meetings short, trying to reduce distractions, but privately, they must know how fragile the situation really is. One wrong statement, one leaked document, and the story could evolve from rumor to scandal overnight. That's how quickly things move when the NFL's integrity unit is involved. The league itself is walking a tightrope here. On one hand, it has to uphold the integrity of the game. On the other, it can't afford to damage one of its premier franchises without definitive proof. The Eagles are ratings gold, a cornerstone of the league's modern brand, passionate fans, a massive market, and a recent championship pedigree. Punishing them would have ripple effects that go far beyond standings and statistics. That's why the commissioner's office is reportedly being extremely cautious, reviewing every document and testimony twice before making any public comment. Still, insiders claim that once the findings are finalized, the league won't hesitate to act. That means we could see anything from quiet warnings to explosive sanctions. Fans are bracing themselves for both possibilities. The sports world loves drama, but even by NFL standards, this story feels colossal. Whether it ends as a misunderstood headline or the next big scandal, it's already changing how people look at the Eagles and how the NFL handles transparency in 2025. If there's one thing history teaches us about the NFL, it's that the truth always comes out, eventually. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but at some point, the details will surface. And when they do, everyone will rush to claim they knew it all along. For now, though, the mystery remains. The Eagles are under the microscope, the league is tightening its grip, and the rest of us are left to watch this slow-burn drama unfold in real time. The stakes couldn't be higher. Every move the team makes from this point forward will be analyzed through the lens of suspicion. Every win, every decision, every press conference. The court of public opinion is already in session, and the verdict may come long before the NFL's final report. One thing's certain, this story has taken on a life of its own, and no one, not the team, not the league, not even the fans, can control where it goes next. Whatever happens, it's clear this moment will define the season, and maybe even the future of football in Philadelphia. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.